Welcome to the Above the Line podcast, and I'm Scott.
And I'm Charles, and we'd love to have you join us today's session. Flip, this is the first one. I'm feeling a bit nervous.
This is a biggie.
My heart's pounding. We just pressed record. Scott, how are you feeling?
Yeah. No, like I said, long time coming. Nerves are a bit there. Who knows how this is going to go? We sort of talked about this for a number of times over the years, and we are here. So
Crazy.
Super pumped. Big morning.
What a day.
Hit the gym, got some brekkie, and got a coffee here and into it.
Smashing it.
How you feeling, mate?
Yeah, pretty nervous. Heart's pounding a little bit. What are we going to talk about? Who knows? But I'm pretty excited to have one of our good old chats that we always have. So, but this time it's been recorded, which is a bit different, but it'll be good.
Yeah. I think, and as well, I guess the idea came from really getting into it was jumping on a podcast a couple of weeks ago on a different show.
Yep.
And just really enjoying it and having some conversations. So hopefully we can get into the flow with that. And yeah, I think, there'll be some pretty cool stuff that comes out of it. If not, we just have a good chat every morning and it's good to go.
We do life together. It's going to be awesome. So good.
So look, we've named the podcast Above the Line.
Yep.
A few people might be going, what the heck is this line and why do we need to be above it?
Yeah, totally.
Some people may know about what it is, but yeah, man, let's get into it. Above the line, what's it mean to you?
So Above the Line incorporates for me quite a lot of different things. It is, it's a mindset of the way you focus on life. It's a mindset of how you tackle life. It's a mindset of how you live life, in that you're taking ownership, you're accepting accountability, and you're taking responsibility for your actions, your reactions, your feelings, everything. So it impacts everything totally.
Nice, bro.
What about for you? What's above the line to you?
Yeah, all of that.
Boom. Ditto. Nice.
Yeah, look, I think above the line is a reminder that in life we all have a choice, and that we can approach certain situations that happen to us. Life is not always pretty, but at the end of the day, we do always have a choice around how we perceive something and how we approach something and how we choose to conduct ourselves, whatever happens.
Totally.
So I think above the line is, you've got a real positive approach and growth mindset approach to certain things and challenges and whatnot. And then on the other side, you've got a little bit of things are just happening to me. I'm starting to lose control. Why is it so hard for me?
Yeah.
And you sort of start getting down on yourself and negative self-talk. It just sort of starts spiraling. So above the line's always been a good sort of reminder check for me to be like, hey, mate, you do have a choice here. You can be like, poor me, like this has happened. Or you can be like, that happened and I'm going to make it the best thing that ever happened to me.
Totally. And I think it compounds. I've just thought of the book, The Compound Effect, which is flipping amazing. I'm going to ask you a question, which you probably already know the answer to, so no cheating. But would you rather be given $1 million today, $3 million today, or would you rather be giving 1 cent today that doubles every day for only 30 days? Most people think, hey, I'll take the $3 million today, thank you very much. But when you double a cent for 30 days in a row, 1 cent to 2 cent to 4 cent to 8 cent, by the time you get to 20 cents, it's about I think it's 100,000 or a couple of 100,000. By the time you get to day 28, you've already hit 3 million. By the time you get to day 30, it's about 10 million or so. So the power of every day, that 1%, that little bit better, can make a radical difference to the trajectory of your life. So yeah, as you're saying, like those mindset pieces of keeping yourself out of the doldrums of negative thinking and negative self-talk, like it makes a difference then for your day and how your day flows. And yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Hard. Like this is not easy. This is a daily challenge,
Absolutely. And there's some real shit stuff that happens in your life. And,
totally.
It's
relationships,
not your fault and things
business.
like that. But, again, you've just got to be like, look, I have a choice here.
Totally.
Picked up on a couple of things there. Firstly, what's a doldrum?
A doldrum is like the bottom of the bottom. It's the Bottom of a barrel. I don't know, actually.
All right,
I just know it's the
cheers for
bottom.
that.
Real
That was
deep,
mainly just
dark.
for me. 'Cause I'm spitting these big words already. Thanks, mate.
Only 2 minutes in. So
But
good.
as well as, man, love your numbers for a non-accountant. And me being an accountant, I always admire how you can recall numbers on the properties and things like that. And the fact that that compound effect has stuck with you. And I think like, you know, there's lots of stuff around money and compounding, and often you relate compounding to investments,
Totally.
long term and things like that. But like, it's everything. So it could be a skill set, it could be just working on yourself, it could be going to the gym, it could be just
Hustling
eating.
gym.
And it's just like tiny things, eh? And even this morning, we sort of checked in with each other before we went live around like, oh man, like this podcast, like, you know, let's smash it, you know, let's just go out there and do it. We've talked about it for a while and now's our chance. And I think, you know, we at some point we got caught up going, man, what if it sucks?
Totally.
But it's like, it's probably going to suck.
Totally.
The first one. And we're probably going to, well, we will get better and
Totally.
better. So I changed my mindset to like, all right, this is a win that we're on it.
We've turned up and we're here.
Yeah. And we know that our first episode is going to be completely different
To our 30th.
to our 30th, to our 50th, to our 100th.
Totally.
You know,
No
hopefully.
pressure.
No
On
pressure.
our 30th episode, 10 million, apparently.
I love how
The compound effect.
I love how on our first show, we're like, 100 episodes in. I think, well, do you know the stat around how many podcasts
No.
start? I think like very few get past 10 episodes or something like that.
Well, we're
So-
gonna break that stat.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to be here in the years to come. You just wait, people. I love it.
So above the line, yeah. So basically, look, the reason for starting this podcast, Charles and I, like we have some cool chats,
We
eh?
have some epic chats.
Yeah. And I think the reality is, and we've got a cool group of people that are around us. And like, that's not by, like the more and more I think about it, that's not by chance.
Totally.
Like, yep, you are the people that you surround yourself with. And I think that's from a people perspective as well as an environment perspective.
And values, common interests. But I think values, and this is, you know, above the line thinking, a values-led life is the best possible life you can have, because no matter, life will suck. You will have hard times in life no matter what. But if you can stand true to your values, stand true to your heart, you will react and act in ways that stay to who you are and that above the line thinking, that above the line mentality, so that you will make the best out of every situation. And if you can come from a low and make something good out of that, like, that's incredible. And it will happen, but one step at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time.
100%, 100%. Yeah, let's lean into that a bit more. I was going to go one way, but we'll stick on your way. So leading a values-based life,
Yeah.
you know, that's a something you say and you're like, oh,
Totally.
sweet, cool. What does that mean?
Seems really, really like,
Yeah, it's like the ear, like high,
airy-fairy.
sort of like, what does that even mean? Like, oh, we're talking about values again. Those are those things that are really important.
And
that no
everyone
one
talks
really
like businesses talk about values and it writes them out, but they often speak to like one person. But it's interesting in the business context, very powerful. But how do you get the whole business on board? That's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day. But talking about personal values, in the last 12 months, I've been doing a lot of work with a personal coach. And I mean, you know, you've got into coaching recently and you're coaching myself and my business partner, which has been really cool. And with yourself, you know, we've done some business values, which has been really, really helpful and instrumental for our business direction and what next steps look like. But going back to the
But I think as well, those business values, they were born and the foundation was set from the personal
So
values.
true.
So it's not, those business values just didn't come. They were,
they are
they
foundational
grew
on the
from
personal.
your personal in the context of the business.
So true, so true. So going back about 12 months ago, it was probably the first time that I'd done a proper value session that really actually impacted, rather than just, I'll just pluck some nice things out of the air. And what the exercise was, is we got two big pieces of paper. Each piece of paper had Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and one piece of paper was labelled who I think I am currently, and the other was labelled who I want to be in the future. And so on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you write in the different boxes, the different needs, physical needs, sociological needs, they go up and they go deeper. What's the top one? Self-actualization needs. And so in those boxes, talking about or writing down what is important to me as a person. And what really stood out on what I believe I currently am was a lot of lacking in beliefs, in self-confidence, but also a lot of importance tied around money for security, rather than just self-belief, self-confidence, self-love. And then what became really evident when we moved our eyes to who do I want the future me to be? Well, that future me picture was quite incredible. A loving, kind-hearted, massive mana, big presence, a person, a massive teddy bear that people just want to come and give a hug, or when they're in the presence of, they just feel, wow, so much love and joy and yes, integrity and all those key words is absolutely part of that. And then what the simple thing was is realizing that distinction between what I currently believe and what I want for the future, and then the simplicity of just being, well, just start being the future you today.
Yeah.
Like, it's just decisions. It's moment by moment decisions. So yeah, that's kind of been my experience, long-winded a little bit, but that's been my experience of the last 12 months and been really impactful.
Yeah. I love this. Again, that's a process, and like that's time that you've had to put in and invest in yourself as well. And so like I think that's super cool. I remember coming down after your session and was like, "You all right, mate?" And you're like,
I was a bit spaced.
Yeah, it was just like a monumental shift for you.
Totally.
And especially in like the last 2 years, like, we've just seen so much growth between us. And yeah, I think it's when you go through those sorts of exercise, and then like, but at the crux of it, it's pretty simple. And as humans, we just love to complicate stuff.
Totally.
And so the simplicity in it is like, figure out who you want to be and just act like that person, and eventually you just become that person.
Totally. Like gym is the easiest example of that. Going to the gym.
Who's
I want to
Jim?
be... Who's Jim? Yeah, my mate Jim. I've been also on a journey of wanting to get fitter, lose some weight. I've lost some weight. I want to get some
good,
muscles.
mate.
Thank you. I want to get some muscles like Scotty. I'm a wee way away, but that is my goal. But you can't just get muscles. It requires years of going to the gym daily. And so, I'll go to the gym some days and I'll come back, look at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, why don't I have my muscles yet? But it requires years of going to the gym daily. And so it's the same thing. The more you put it in practice and the more you simply be that every day, whether it's a person that gyms or a person that lives by values X, Y, and Z, whatever that is, you will be that person. And it's just a choice every day.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, that's that compound effect. It's always with gym stuff, it's just reps.
Totally.
And again, but it's also like really important that you're consciously working towards this stuff, because it's no good us talking about, figure out who you want to be and then just be that person. Like, that's a conscious decision. The first thing that needs to happen is like, I'm not happy where I am now.
Totally.
And then it's over to you, above the line or below the line. What are you going to do?
Totally.
Are you going to change it, or are you just going to stay where you are and put up with not being? And I think from a values point of view, that's conflicting with who you want to be truly and naturally.
Totally.
And I think coming a little way back to looping around with, our circle of friends and the people that we have in our life, and being so fortunate for that, that hasn't been like a process. They say, oh, yeah, you're type 5. So you're 5 people you hang around are the person you are type thing, there or thereabouts. I didn't go out there and be like, okay, here's a CV for number 1 out of 5 and number 2 out of 5's got to have this. Like, I just went out there, and if my values aligned with someone and I gained energy from that person and they lifted me up and vice versa, and they were open to some of the things. And for us, it's like personal growth. Like in our friends, like well-being is just like a focus for us. Totally. It's not a thingy that you just spin out or whatnot.
Totally.
If I was talking to someone and like, oh, that stuff, like that's not really important, I'd be like, yeah, cool. I might see you later. I probably won't. Unless there's a genuine interest there to learn more.
Totally.
And so like our values, it's just, you can feel it in your body when someone's aligning with it or not.
Well, it's the mindset that you've just touched on. It's not about where the person.
Just careful with that pointer, mate.
Oh, sorry.
Very aggressive.
I'm pointing with my fingers. My hands go flying. My hands go flying. It's the mindset. I think it's not about where someone is. It's not where your friends are at in terms of where they're at in their values journey, or whether they're at in their whatever their journey looks like. It's about the mindset of being above the line and wanting to grow. That's the core. Because if someone's wanting to grow, everything and anything's possible, which is awesome.
Man, and that's, you've got to believe that.
Totally.
But that's exciting as well.
Totally. And it doesn't matter where you're starting from.
Yeah.
You could be a CEO, you could be on the streets. If you're willing to grow, epic future ahead of you. If you're not willing to grow and you're a CEO or you're on the streets, well, you just don't have the freedom, the joy, the above the line for really awesome, freeing future.
Yeah. And I think it's the excitement, it's the unlimited potential, it's the unlimited growth. Big thing I live by is, the quote, better never stops. But what you've just said then, it's like, I guess the reality of the above the line and below the line is that, one, you do always have a choice. So you've also, that can be quite confronting to be like, I am where I am because I put myself here.
Totally.
And, with that mindset, with that circumstance. And so that's pretty confronting to be like, I've let this happen. But then again, you're faced with it, you're confronted with it. Can you dig deep down, find the courage? It's not do you have the courage, it's find the courage.
It's choose to have courage.
To choose better.
Yeah.
And that doesn't have to be a monumental shift of everything. It can be, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
But it can also just be, what's the first thing I can do to just get me closer to where I want to be or who I want to be?
It's waking up in the morning and the first thing you say to yourself as you open your eyes, today is going to be a fantastic day. And that will change your mood. You could have the worst day, but because the first thought you thought was, today is going to be a fantastic day, that has serious impact on you. And just to further on what you're saying there is, I reckon one of the really key things, and this is something I'm currently learning at the moment and really grappling with, one of the key things to have almost the courage to choose to have growth, to choose to be above the line. There is a certain degree of self-love, self-value, self-appreciation that needs to be present. And I think it's something that probably everyone struggles with, whether you realize it or not.
100%.
I know I do, big time. And the choice to, for instance, go to the gym every morning because, hey, you've got a goal in mind, you want to be fitter, you want to lose weight, whatever that looks like, it does require self-discipline and self-love to think, I am worth it to commit this time, I'm worth putting this time and energy and discipline in place so that, yes, I can have that freer, better future, whatever that looks like. Gym as an example, thinking, whatever that looks like, absolutely. One of the other really interesting challenges, my coach from last year, doing the value session that he said was every morning, wake up, go to the mirror, look face almost against the mirror, look at yourself in the eyes and say, I love you, I love you, I love you, and then kiss yourself in the mirror. And it's really uncomfortable, super uncomfortable. But if you can do that again every day and you actually start to truly love who you are and who you see, that's crazy powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean that even now listening to it, you've told me that before. It is a bit like in that weird space. You're just kissing yourself in the mirror. But I think as well, like one thing we touched on is there is a spiritual element. to that as well.
Yeah.
So I think if you don't have that, it may be a little bit different. I'm not sure when you're doing that, whether you're channeling some of that stuff as well into it, which makes it
Totally.
even more powerful.
The depth and gravity of your greater being's love. Yeah, totally. Quite powerful. Absolutely.
So
Another thing just to talk about love, which has just out of my mind. Carry on. It's gone. It was good.
I have no doubt.
It is, you carry on. If
Your
it
mind's
comes
going
back.
too fast, Charles.
No, yeah, it is. I should have written it down. So it's all good.
We'll learn, mates. First podcast.
This podcast.
We're learning on the run.
I love it.
Look, let's try and, we've done some sort of higher level thinking. Hopefully something's related to some, like this relates to us. And again, I think really important to throw it out there. We are by no means perfect
Totally.
or by no means have this stuff anywhere near
We're
sorted.
grappling this daily.
We just
daily.
know that it's the choices on us and we
Totally.
take ownership and we take responsibility.
And we keep each other accountable.
Yeah.
You know?
exactly.
Boom. 3 of the all bed. Ownership, accountability, responsibility, living above the line. Boom, right there.
Yeah.
So good.
And yeah, I guess funnily in that, like I was going to sort of lean into how you start your day and just making that decision early on for having an awesome day.
Yeah,
but I think
nice.
that's just what it is. Again, we don't need to make this any more complex
Totally.
than it needs to be. It's like, and for me, sometimes when it's not feeling that way in the beginning, what can I do to get better? And often it's like, okay, can I move my body?
Go for a
Go
walk.
out for a walk.
Yeah.
Charles knows when I come in from a walk in the morning, it's like, also just for the listeners out there, we do live together, but Charles is
flatties.
getting married. So just anyone who also may be confused.
Yeah, true. Very true. Very true. Flatmates.
Yeah.
For the last 2 years.
Flatmate and best friends.
Best flatmate. Sorry to those who I've also flatted with, but best flatmate so far.
Yeah, you heard that, all you other flatties that Charles has lived with.
Am I not your best flatmate?
Yeah, so like moving on to the next point.
Oh, good.
You
Anyway,
are
moving
by
on.
far the best, apart from my mum and dad.
Thank you. That is, yes. Second, yours third to mum and dad as well. Good clarification. I just thought of one of, I think, my sub-points. Do we have time for a quick sub-point to self-love?
Yes,
Great.
always time for self-love.
Action. Action is the key to everything. You can think about having self-love. You can think about awesome values. You can think about having an awesome future. You can think about losing weight or having a fit body. But if you don't actually action and do something, you will never have change. So just one step, 1%, 1 day, 1 minute. Make a choice. Take action. Boom.
Whoa, did you practice that?
Yeah. Thank you.
but I like it because again, and I think like manifesting and visualizing and stuff is really powerful, and that is a thing of a step to do. But
Totally.
again, like what's the next thing? How can you put more control, more onus on yourself to
Totally.
bring it into
Reality.
reality?
Yeah.
Big
Powerful
stuff.
stuff.
Let's start to wrap it up.
Sweet.
I think let's just maybe summarize.
Yeah. Oh,
I think I've got my summarizing like, hey, woohoo, first year, first podcast,
Yeah.
about to wrap it up. Big thing for me, above the line is a choice.
Yeah.
So the choice is yours, not anybody else's.
yeah. My summary would be learn to love yourself. Find value in yourself. Find what your values are and make the choice to be the better version of you. Because you can be 30 years future you today. You just choose. Just choose to react differently.
Nice, man. And yeah, I guess just this podcast is about sort of doing life together, talking about some of these things. We've been talking business, entrepreneurship, well-being.
And I think that's the awesome thing with what we're talking about here. And like it's in a lot of ways it's really broad.
Super broad.
But it is broad because values should impact every part of your life. And I think something we're going to talk about a little bit later on another episode is the difference often, I know that Scott and I have seen in our own personal lives, the difference between like personal life and business life. No.
Yeah.
Personal and business should just be the same person, same tone, same values, same everything. So stay tuned. We're going to dig into that one. It's going to be a good one.
Cool. Hey, well, if you've made it this far, thank you for sticking in with us. And we hope we've either been giving you some things to think about or been entertaining at least.
Totally.
Really welcome you along the journey of us funneling our way through a podcast.
Totally.
So, that's me. All the best. Go out there, smash the day.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Stay classy, San Diego.
We talked about that, Charles.
I feel like I'm in the newsroom. I feel all important, but that's okay. That's okay.
All right. Thanks,
Peace.
team. Go out there, smash it. Do it for you.
Make a decision. Do some action.
Until next time.
Love yourself. Bye.